they call it also see that being a no call.
Just respond, calm down, let your play do the talking, it is what it is.
We're covering every major physical incident involving Caitlin Clark in her rookie and second year so far in the WNBA. Did you know by season's end, Clark was the victim of 17% of all flagrant fouls in 2024? A statistic so extreme that the probability of it happening by chance was 1 in 100,000. This is Caitlin Clark's biggest opponent yet, the refs themselves. Our story begins on May 22, 2024, when the Indiana Fever traveled to Seattle for a game that drew a record crowd of 18,343 fans. During the Storm's 85-83 victory, Seattle forward Ezi Magbegor's blocked shot caught a lot of ball, and much of Clark's head.
Left, goes around to Gumake, drives baseline, and shot rejected by Ezi Magbegor!
While officials didn't call this a flagrant foul, it was significant enough to be mentioned in reports about Clark's physical treatment. What made this incident more controversial months later was when Seattle used an image from this exact play in their social media campaign for Magbegor's Defensive Player of the Year candidacy. The image showed Clark grimacing while Magbegor reached up, and fans pointed out the Storm was essentially promoting a play where Clark was hit in the head with no foul call. It set the tone for what was to come. 2 days later, on May 30th, 2024, we had our first major confrontation. The Seattle Storm visited Indianapolis, and in the second quarter, Clark banked in a spectacular 30-plus foot three-pointer despite Storm guard Victoria Vivian's hand in her face. What happened next showed Clark wasn't going to be passive about the physical treatment she was receiving.
Victoria Vivian's an old NBA.
After hitting the shot, Clark turned around and appeared to bump into Vivian's. What started as typical trash talk quickly escalated. The two players went chest to chest, getting increasingly heated before teammates had to separate them. Both Clark and Vivian's were assessed technical fouls, Clark's third of the young season, putting her in danger of future suspensions. After the game, Clark explained, "Yeah, two competitive people and hit us with a double tech. Just being competitive is who I am. That's what I've done my whole career." This incident was significant because it showed the normally composed rookie starting to show some fire in response to the physical treatment she was facing. Now we get to the most talked about incident of Clark's rookie season. June 1st, 2024, the Chicago Sky visited Indianapolis for Clark's first professional matchup with her college rival Angel Reese. This wasn't just any game. It was watched by an average of 1.53 million viewers with a peak of over 2.19 million. Massive numbers for the WNBA. In the third quarter of what would become a 71-70 Fever victory, Chicago's Kennedy Carter gave Clark a shoulder shot that knocked her to the floor before an inbound pass.
Foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it?
This wasn't a basketball play. It was a clear body check away from the ball that resembled something you'd see in hockey. The officials initially called it a common foul and didn't even review it during the game. What made this incident explode was the reaction. Immediately after the foul, Chicago rookie Angel Reese leaped off the bench and started clapping in celebration. When asked about the play post-game, Carter refused to answer any questions about Clark, repeatedly saying, "Next question."
Let's do. Next question. Yeah, I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
The WNBA upgraded this to a flagrant one the following day, but the damage was done. The incident sparked national conversations about physicality in the WNBA that reached mainstream shows like The View.
I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege.
Clark's composed response, "I wasn't expecting it, but it is what it is," only highlighted the professionalism she maintained despite the treatment she was receiving.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, calm down, let your play do the talking, it is what it is.
2 weeks later, on June 16th, 2024, Clark and the Sky met again. And this time, Angel Reese was in the spotlight. With the Fever leading 63-62 and under 3 minutes left in the third quarter, Reese attempted to block Clark's layup but hit her head instead. Clark hit the deck hard after taking Reese's forearm to the head.
I believe to Angel Reese. Yep, across the head, and they will go to the monitor to...
Officials originally called a personal foul, but after review, they upgraded it to a flagrant one.
After review, the call has been upgraded to a flagrant 1. We have follow through, impact, unnecessary contact to the head.
The referee's explanation was clear. Follow through, impact, unnecessary contact to the head. This foul carried extra weight because of the intense college rivalry between Clark and Reese. When Reese's LSU beat Clark's Iowa for the 2022-23 national championship, it created a rivalry that captivated women's basketball and drew 12.3 million viewers to their match. Now that rivalry was fully transplanted to the professional level. Reese's response was brief but defiant. It was a basketball play. I can't control the refs. I'm always going for the ball. Clark made both free throws and the Fever won 91-83, but the physicality between these teams was becoming a major storyline.
Also see that being a no call.
August 30th, 2024 was the most controversial single game of Clark's rookie season. The Fever visited Chicago for Angel Reese's Barbie night, but Clark completely stole the show with 2 flagrant fouls committed against her in one game. The first came in the third quarter when Sky guard Michaela Onyenwere didn't give Clark safe landing space after a 3-point attempt.
There could be some more coming. Clark with the step back and gets fouled.
Clark came down on Onyenwere's foot and hit the floor. What was particularly frustrating for Clark and Fever fans was that she had to lobby the referees to review what seemed like an obvious flagrant foul. The officials weren't initially catching these dangerous plays in real time. But the second flagrant was even more egregious. With 3 minutes 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter and the Fever up by a commanding 25 points, Diamond DeShields blindsided Clark with a shoulder hit during a fast break.
Second half, as we look at Diamond DeShields and Caitlin Clark.
This was pure frustration in garbage time. There was no competitive reason for such a hard foul when the game was already decided. Clark made both sets of free throws and finished with a career high of 31 points and 12 assists. The first 30-point, 12-assist game in WNBA history. She exited to a standing ovation from the road crowd. But the aftermath was ugly, with DeShields receiving death threats that referenced her past medical condition, showing how toxic the discourse had become. The physical play didn't stop in Clark's second season. On June 17, 2025, during a game against the Connecticut Sun, we witnessed one of the most chaotic sequences in recent WNBA history. It started when Sun guard JC Sheldon committed what seemed like a common foul on Clark.
Clark muscled away.
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
But as Clark complained about the contact, Sun guard Marina Mabrey came over and shoved Clark to the ground while her back was turned.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey's going to get ejected.
A completely unnecessary and dangerous play. The game spiraled into chaos from there. Sheldon's foul was upgraded to a flagrant after review. Clark and veteran Tina Charles received offsetting technical fouls. Mabrey got a technical but avoided ejection. Later, Fever guards Sophie Cunningham and Sheldon got into their own fight.
That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul.
Resulting in both players being ejected. The final tally, 5 technical fouls, 3 ejections, 2 flagrant fouls, and a complete mess that highlighted ongoing officiating problems in the WNBA. Despite the chaos, the Fever won 88-71. Not all the hard fouls went one way. In the 2025 season opener on May 17th, Clark showed she could give as good as she got.
15-foot area. Clark connects!
With the Fever up 56-42 in the third quarter, Angel Reese grabbed an offensive rebound and was driving to the basket when Clark delivered a hard foul that knocked Reese to the ground.
In too strong on a 3.
She immediately got up and tried to confront Clark, but teammates separated them before things escalated. Clark's foul was upgraded to a flagrant 1, while both Reese and Aaliyah Boston received technical fouls for the aftermath. Clark maintained it was just a basketball play, but it showed the intensity between these rivals remained as high as ever. So what do all these incidents tell us? The pattern is clear and unprecedented. In 2024 alone, 80% of the flagrant fouls against Clark came from the Chicago Sky. Nearly 14% of the entire WNBA's total flagrant fouls that season were Sky players fouling Clark. The probability of this happening by chance was 1 in 100,000, essentially impossible. But the physical play continued into 2025. Clark's own flagrant foul on Reese in the season opener showed the intensity remain high, and the Connecticut Sun melee proved that officiating problems weren't limited to Chicago games. What made the Sun incident particularly telling was Fever coach Stephanie White's post-game rant. Everybody's getting better except the officials. These incidents brought unprecedented attention to the WNBA. Games involving Clark routinely set viewership records, but they also exposed serious structural problems. Unlike the NBA, which employs full-time referees, the WNBA uses part-time officials paid per game. This leads to inconsistent calls, missed reviews, and games that spiral out of control. The controversy sparked national conversations about race, privilege, and opportunity in women's sports that extended far beyond basketball. Critics argued Clark received special treatment, while supporters said any player bringing this level of attention and revenue deserved protection from excessive physicality. But here's the remarkable thing. Clark not only survived this unprecedented gauntlet, but thrived despite it. She won Rookie of the Year in 2024, led the Fever to their first playoff appearance since 2016, and fundamentally changed the conversation around women's basketball. Whether she was getting knocked down by Carter, confronting Vivians after a three-pointer, or delivering her own hard foul on Reese, Clark proved she could handle whatever the league threw at her. The 2025 season showed that while the attention remains intense, Clark has established herself as someone who won't be intimidated. From dealing with racial slurs directed at opponents after her flagrant foul on Reese to handling the chaos of the Connecticut Sun game, Clark continues to navigate controversies with remarkable composure. These incidents didn't just change Clark's career, they changed the WNBA forever. The league now has unprecedented mainstream attention, but with that comes greater scrutiny of officiating, player protection, and responsibility that comes with success. What's your take on these fouls and incidents? Were they competitive basketball or something more problematic? Has the league done enough to address the officiating issues? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more women's basketball stories.